There isn't much meaning in progressing fast if you are headed in the wrong direction. Let's keep this short and simple. Start with 3 goals, 1 week, 1 month and 1 year. Then we do a quick fine-tuning. Are your goals specific enough? Can they be more measurable? Are they too unrealistic? Are you not giving yourself enough credit? Take the effort to get the difficulty just right. Overly ambitious goals equals unmotivating and unfulfilling sessions. Set them too low and you won't grow as much as you could have. But it is incredibly hard to get it right from the start, so stay flexy and adjust your goals as you go through your sessions. Great, we now have a destination, but the path to all our deepest and darkest climbing desires is often not obvious. Think of the path towards your goal as a rope. Some ropes will be more windy, requiring more time and effort to reach the goals, while some ropes are more streamlined, allowing you to reach them with less effort and time. Luckily for you, there are ways to straighten that rope, and one of them involves almost zero physical effort, just a bit more thinking. There are 2 bits. The first bit is planning. It is worthwhile to take a minute to plan out which limb goes where and in what sequence. The more you get used to this, the more details you can add to this plan, such as breathing, grip types, sidelines, momentum, timing, placement, activation, relaxation. The second bit is reflecting. When you fall from a move, we naturally try to diagnose what went wrong when we fell. Simple questions can help more than you think. If the swing was too wild, where am I swinging from and to? If the holes are too poor, can I hold them a different way? Is there a more effective foothold configuration? If I can't reach the next hole, can I generate in another way? But something far fewer of us do is reflecting when things go right. After sending your project, collect the fist bumps and move on, am I right? Instead, here are 5 questions to help you concisely reflect. Was that the best beta? Or did I succeed through inefficient movement? Did I execute exactly the beta I had in mind? If there were deviations, why? What lessons did I learn that will help me on similar climbs? These 2 thinking bits are more synergistic than you think. Having a good plan gives better reflections, and taking the time to reflect allows you to come up with better plans. These combined make each climbing attempt that much more meaningful, and just like that, our rope has straightened a bit. What questions do you ask yourself after an attempt? There are 2 things we cannot escape from if you seek performance in any sport or in life in general: nutrition and sleep. This is an impossibly large rabbit hole to cover in one video, so here is a super condensed professional quickfire tips compilation. Strength to weight ratio is pretty important for us climbers, but instead of focusing on the minimum you can eat to maintain this ratio, focus on the maximum you can eat without unnecessary weight gain. Prioritize fueling your body for recovery and performance. Taking sufficient protein reduces soreness and helps with recovery. Distribute intake evenly throughout the day. Aim for 30 grams per meal, around 150 grams daily, even on rest days. Carbs are your main energy source. For your pre-climbing meal, aim for 1 gram per kilogram of body weight per hour before climbing. If you are 60 kg, 2 hours away will look like 4 peanut butter sandwiches. Simple carbs give you a quick energy boost. To avoid a sugar crash, pair them with a protein or fat for a more sustainable energy source. If you feel constantly lethargic, sore, or are underperforming, try increasing your carb intake. Avoid high-fat, high-protein, or high-fiber foods within 60 minutes of climbing to prevent GI distress. Liquid meals like smoothies are gentler and easier to digest. Drink water throughout the day and during climbing sessions. The target is around 0.4 to 0.8 liters per hour of climbing. If you have a 24-ounce bottle, it should be finished by the end of 2 hours of climbing. If your energy level gets low, try snacking on carbs like a banana or a granola bar to maintain energy. After climbing, replenish carbs and protein. Prioritize whole, nutrient-dense foods. If you're having carb cravings and have trouble with night snackings, you might not be eating enough carbs and proteins throughout the day and week. For sleep, condensing this 30-minute video into 5 short points. 1. Window. There is a very specific window where your brain is tired enough to go to sleep but not completely fatigued. If you wake at 8 AM, this window is around 9 to 10 PM. If you miss this window, your completely fatigued brain is less able to control impulses. You'll be tempted to scroll on your phone, and just like that, hours of sleep gone. 2. Take out the trash. When the mind has idle time, it automatically clears out the trash. But idle time is rare in today's world. When we do put down our phones, some of us get an overwhelming flood of emotions, driving us back on our screens. The fix is simple. Give your mind some idle time and allow yourself to grow bored. Doing these 3 things all can work. 3. Climb. Exercise creates physiological signals to help us sleep. On days we climb, this is great, but for those rest days, consider going for an easy run or an easy bodyweight workout. Number 4. Learn something new. When you learn new things, you store a bunch of stuff in short-term memory, and the brain will want to sleep to consolidate them into long-term memory. 5. Eat. If you are nutrient deficient, the brain is going to be like, hey, we can't sleep yet, we haven't eaten enough. For dinner, a carb-heavy meal with protein and fiber is recommended. Carbs stimulate insulin, which helps sleep. Protein and fiber help slow down the release of carbs into our system. As the carbs get slowly absorbed, the body maintains a high level of insulin, which keeps us sleepy for a sustained period of time. Lastly, no screens at least 30 minutes before sleep. This sounds impossible? Try this video, link in the description. I'm sure most of you are familiar with the benefits of working on your weaknesses. It forces you out of your comfort zone, which is where you can find the most growth and learning. Taking the time and effort in areas where you struggle can make projects that once felt impossible suddenly click and open doors to entirely new styles of climbing. And climbing just becomes more fun when you're able to understand and do more types of moves. However, it is possible to become too absorbed in your weaknesses, and your strengths might end up feeling neglected. Spending time refining your strengths can be equally valuable. For one, it's fun. Who doesn't like feeling strong on moves? Doing freaky moves comfortably that look utterly insane to others gives you a feeling like no other and can help you stay motivated in tougher sessions. Similarly to how pushing your weaknesses unlocks moves, pushing your strengths can also unlock techniques, moves, and sequences. This often leads to the mastery of niche techniques which might not be possible otherwise. A well-developed strength can also indirectly improve weaker areas. For example, improving your explosiveness in dinos will indirectly develop lower body strength, which might indirectly contribute when you are trying to keep your feet in sensitive, tensiony moves. Lastly, every one of you guys' climbing style is unique. There is nothing wrong with embracing and developing your personal style rather than being an all-rounder. Floating is something we all love to watch and experience in climbing. Floating is also a boulder with some of the most iconic and downright insane moves. This V16 starts with a massive V15 campus on shallow flat crimps into a pocket, straight into a V14 crux campusing down into credit card crimps. The softest, most breathable material with prints that feel like a part of fabric. Pure comfort for your floatiest climbs. Now we are really getting into things that seem small but will give multiplicative boost to your climbing progress. At its core is simple, less time scrolling TikTok equals more time for productive climbing. You might ask, I don't have the energy to climb all the time, can't I take a little scroll in between my attempts? There is just one problem with that. The apps you are taking a break on, they are designed to keep attentions using billions of dollars and hundreds of thousands of employees. The moment you open the app, you stand no chance. You'll most likely overshoot your rest and find yourself too distracted to give your next climb your full effort. Even if you have an iron will and stick to your rest times strictly, these distractions prevent you from a flow state where on the climb everything is going the way you envisioned, with maximum focus and intention in each and every move. When the moves are brutal, but it feels so easy to try your absolute maximum. The moment you hop on your phone, you are losing valuable time to visualize. You are allowing yourself to mentally check out of the process, and you are throwing ice cubes on your psych machine. And flow doesn't apply to just climbing. You can find flow in reflecting and analysis too. With deep focus, you can remember exactly the sensations in the previous attempts, come up with the rights, the wrongs, the possibilities in the next attempt. Verify your concepts with your video evidence and conjure a new theory to test, which you then visualize with deep intensity on how exactly you are executing that theory. So doing something so simple, cutting distractions, transforms your breaks into something else entirely. You are practicing visualizing, you are keeping in the zone, staying sight, you are coming up with climbing theories and growing your climbing brain. You are doing moves you thought were impossible because you noticed that small micro beta. You are doing moves you haven't done because your psych and focus is through the roof. There is one truth all of us climbers don't want to hear, that straight line to your goals. It isn't about going hard every single day. The real secret is knowing when to push and when to rest. Sure, on project days, go ham. Empty the tank, leave everything on the wall. On PT days, squeeze every drop of progress from your session. But if you are climbing more than 3 times a week or are stacking sessions back to back, listen closely. We've all seen it happen. That climber who was crushing it yesterday suddenly sidelined. That dream project you were so close to sending, now you are watching others on it while you nurse an injury. The sting of regret hits different when you know it was avoidable. When you realize those extra sessions weren't pushing you forward, they were setting you up for failure. So try this simple adjustment that could save your line. Start by cutting the intensity of your chew days in half. Think shorter sessions, easier grades, less volume. But here's where the magic happens. You are going to track 3 key elements after every session: physical intensity, mental focus, and energy level, from a scale of 1 to 10. After a few weeks, observe the patterns. If you see a maintained improvement in your focus and energy levels, well done. It is likely that your body is appreciating the additional capacity given to recover. If, however, your intense days feel worse, you might be climbing too infrequently and losing conditioning. If focus and energy levels have reduced throughout both intense and chill sessions, it's time to look into external factors such as poor sleep, stress, and nutrition. Now here's something most of us miss. Those project days aren't just taxing your muscles, your central nervous system takes a massive hit too. The science is clear. When your central nervous system gets overloaded, you are looking at reduced strength and power, impaired coordination, delayed recovery, slower reaction times, and impaired decision making. Luckily for you, the solution is straightforward. Avoid stacking high-intensity days. If Monday was max hangst, Tuesday isn't the day for your project. For those all-out sessions, your nervous system might need up to 10 days to fully bounce back. This is where your tracking becomes so helpful. Those numbers guide to whether you can add another session or dial it back. But I know this can be so much harder than it sounds. Leaving the gym with so much gas left in the tank can feel a bit wasteful and unfulfilling. Let me flip that script. The extra energy you are living with, they are going into your next try-hard session. You are giving your body space to recover, and you are coming back with a body more able to focus, exert, and perform. Plus, who says your true days can't be as fulfilling and productive as try-hard days? Some of these I can make an entire video about, but for now, here's a short list of things you can experiment and work on. Coming up with visualizations that are both more detailed and accurate. Working on breathing techniques and placing your breathing. Slab, but be careful, some slabs can be super crimpy and physically demanding. Climbing posture and body awareness. Becoming more aware of where your moving body and center of gravity is in 3D space. In summary, set goal, prioritize sleep, eat enough, work on weak, work on strong, no TikTok, chiller, chill days.